Okay. Okay, please take your seats. We are just about ready to commence. We got things in order. Thank you. We actually have a few seconds yet, but we will get started. The public hearing was declared open before we took a break. So at this point, I am going to open the public comment opportunity for all those who would like to speak. Given the number of speakers and in fairness to everybody who wishes to speak, we are going to hold to a strict time limit. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes, at which point a buzzer will sound, and you will have 15 seconds to wrap up. At the end of that time, the mic will be turned off. Okay? Also, please note that the financial plan, as was earlier pointed out by Christopher Jordan, is not the purview of this commission, and there will be a public meeting regarding the financial plan on Wednesday, April 17th at 6 p.m. Okay? So with that, let me call up the first speaker, Walt Hess.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioners. I'm, as requested by Mr. Singha, I'll keep this short. In preparation for this meeting, I had a lot of thoughts about what I wanted to say. I was going to highlight things that were in the staff report, but the last 2 hours presentation was so spectacularly done, there's no sense in me rehashing that. I agree with everything they said. Everything that they have said in that report, to me, justifies why this program should be allowed to move forward. But quickly about myself, my wife and I live in Elk Grove. I've been here for about 13 years. I'm a docent at the zoo, going on my 10th year at the zoo. We support the zoo financially as a family. The zoo is in our estate planning. Excuse me. We donate to the zoo, and we've made a pledge to the zoo for the long-term project for the new zoo. And I live in a community, Glenbrook community, along with your chairperson. And we just initiated a fund drive within the Glenbrook community, which is 631 homes. In a 2-week period, 2.5-week period, we raised in excess of $14,000 specifically for the new zoo. I'm not saying that that's the whole community that supports it, but I think that's a testament to the kind of support that exists in this community for the zoo. I see no reason why this project should not move forward from your standpoint to the city council. I applaud all the work that's been done by the city, the staff, and particularly the zoo to make this thing as transparent as possible. The reports are spectacular. I think it kind of bears some witness here to something that our mayor said. I just kind of paraphrase what was in the State of the City report here a couple of days ago. And the mayor said, I'll have to read it because I don't want to mess up her words. The envisioned zoo holds significant potential. It will position Elk Grove as a notable destination while advancing our conservation and sustainability objectives. This project has potential to be transformational for the city, and while it presents challenges, they can be managed through collaboration and careful planning. While sizable, the project is not unsurmountable. It's a testament to our collective capacity to make this happen. And I think that's an important thing to remember. It's really true. I'm proud to be a short-term, 13-year resident of Elk Grove and applaud all the work that has been done by city staff, zoo staff. The plans that you saw are spectacular. And I think that we have the opportunity collectively to have an apex destination here in Elk Grove that is family-friendly and will enhance this community for the long term. So I ask you to please move the project forward at your discretion tonight. I think that would be wonderful. And on a personal note and a selfish note, I have a birthday next week. This would be a great birthday present to see you guys pass it to the city to move forward. Thank you.
Okay. Our next speaker is Jeff Halston, and following him will be Brandon Fuentes, so that will save me calling names. So would Brandon Fuentes please be ready to speak right after? Okay.
So, Commissioners, thank you. My name is Jeff Halston. I'm a lifelong Sacramento businessman. Raised 4 kids, adult children now in Sacramento. The zoo, as a kid for me, was a big part of my life. And in full disclosure, my daughter is one of the primate zookeepers at the Sacramento Zoo. She and I want to thank you for doing what Sacramento didn't have the ability or the guts or the vision to do. And to be here today is you can't believe how happy I am that we have a shot at this. Because my wife was a long-term board member 30 years ago. The kids grew up at the zoo. My daughter went to UC San Diego, got a degree in primate cognition, went to Europe and has a master's in primate cognition, and came back to Sacramento to be a zookeeper in primates at the Sacramento Zoo. Her little sister is a 4th-year vet student at Davis in large animals, and a few months ago, we still had the chimps. They both worked, I'm so proud of this, they both worked on the same case on either end of the deal. And we're anecdotally kind of the target family. I mean, the kids grew up at the zoo. The zoo is the reason the kids basically are in the animal business, so to speak. And I couldn't be prouder. And I was thinking about this too. I was preparing for this, and I'm thinking, what is it about a zoo that it's controversial. Some people are against zoos, and Steve Irwin, the kids grew up with the crocodile hunter, and he was just over the top, and everything was kind of crazy. And he had that Australian zoo that, they're dangling kids over crocodiles, and he drew a lot of heat. And he was asked, why do you do this? Why the whole thing? Why are you so crazy? And he said, the quote was kind of, if you can't excite people about wildlife, then you're never going to convince them to love and cherish and protect that wildlife. And what Jason and the guys have come up with is an over-the-top zoo, and I think it's going to be a tremendous experience. And thank God for the city of Elk Grove that you guys kind of pulled Sacramento's fat out of the fire, and you're going to kind of save this thing. And I couldn't be a bigger supporter, and hope this thing goes through. And I look forward to I've got twin 4-year-old grandkids that we're going to take down the same path. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Might I request that the audience please hold their applause? It is simply going to stretch out the evening. So after Brandon Fuentes, we have Kristen Gilardi. So after you, Brandon.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Brandon Fuentes. Like many others out here tonight, I'm proud to call Elk Grove home. Someone who's born and raised here in Elk Grove, I'm thrilled to have the opportunity tonight to voice my support for the proposal to establish a new zoo here in my hometown. Growing up in Elk Grove, my childhood was full of baseball tournaments at Elk Grove Park, looking forward to the annual Harvest Festival, and of course, the weekend visit to the zoo. I remember spending countless weekends exploring its exhibits, being captivated by unique species that call it home, and of course, eating that infamous pink popcorn. These experiences opened my eyes to the wonder of the world and instilled in me a deep sense of responsibility to protect wildlife. Throughout my formative years, I became increasingly more involved with the zoo, joining the zoo's volunteer program as a zoo teen and camp counselor, before moving on to more formal involvement. These experiences further cemented my love for the natural world and instilled in me a deep appreciation for the importance of wildlife conservation and education. More than just a place of entertainment, the zoo became a cornerstone of my upbringing, shaping my values and aspirations as I transitioned into adulthood. Now, as a proud member of the Elk Grove community, a new father to 2 adorable twin boys, and someone who has been involved with the zoo for almost 2 decades, I recognize the immense potential that a new zoo holds for our city. It will not only provide a unique recreational outlet for all, but more importantly, it has the potential to inspire and educate millions of visitors over the years. I can think of no better project to highlight Elk Grove's commitment to sustainability and environmental stewardship. By promoting conservation efforts and raising awareness about the threats that many species face, we can inspire future generations to become passionate advocates for wildlife. In conclusion, I wholeheartedly endorse the proposal to bring a new zoo to Elk Grove, As someone who's been shaped by the positive influence of our current zoo, I truly believe that its relocation will enrich the fabric of our community and leave a lasting legacy for generations to come. Let us embrace this opportunity to create a thriving oasis where people and animals can coexist, fostering a brighter future for everyone. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. After Kristen Gilardi, we have Art Scotland.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Kirsten Gilardi. I'm a wildlife veterinarian on faculty at the School of Veterinary Medicine at UC Davis, and I'm here representing our dean, Dr. Mark Stetter, who prior to his leadership of our school and his leadership of other organizations and institutions was, in fact, Dr. Stetter was a zoo veterinarian, so tonight's agenda item is very near and dear to his heart and to mine. The UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine and the Sacramento Zoo have a very long history of close collaboration, and together, under the vision and guidance of the late Dr. Murray Fowler, the UC Davis and the zoo essentially established the professional discipline of zoological medicine, which is the clinical care and health management of non-domestic animal species. Currently, UC Davis veterinarians staff the hospital at the Sacramento Zoo, and our students rotate through the Sacramento Zoo during their clinical year of training to obtain very high-quality experiential education in zoological medicine. Our zoo medicine residency training program, which we run in collaboration with the Sacramento Zoo and the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, is considered the best in the world. The training we offer students through our collaboration with the Sacramento Zoo is unique. Most veterinary schools in the U.S. do not offer their students the caliber of this kind of training. And this confers very high level of renown, both nationally and internationally, to both UC Davis and the Sacramento Zoo. So I'm here tonight to convey the school's great enthusiasm, excitement, anticipation for the new zoo in Elk Grove. We very much look forward to transitioning our student and resident training programs to the new zoo, and we view the new zoo and the proposed hospital facilities as an incredible opportunity to advance the health of wildlife and human care and to promote their conservation in the wild through research and public engagement and awareness. So on behalf of UC Davis, I simply wish to express our wholehearted support for establishment of this new zoo in Elk Grove, and we look forward to many decades of collaboration at all levels. Thank you.
Thank you. After Art Scotland, there is Arden Bell.
Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. I'm Art Scotland. As a native of Sacramento, raised a few blocks away from the Sacramento Zoo in William Land Park, where friends, family, and I have often visited during the 77 years of my life thus far, hopefully a lot more. I am very excited about the prospect of a new, modern, well-designed, well-thought-out zoo in Elk Grove that will greatly benefit your community and, frankly, benefit the entire region. And also, obviously, will benefit the animals. That'll benefit greatly from a modern zoo, as I say, well-designed, that has the space to satisfy the accreditation standards, so there's going to be a lot more iconic animals that the current zoo just cannot house because they don't meet the accreditation standards. After I retired as a judge of the Superior Court and a Court of Appeal justice, I've remained very active in community service, including, for example, being on the Board of Trustees of the Sacramento Zoological Society. And doing that, I know from personal experience what a great benefit, what rewards come to a community that has a zoo. And also the wonderful opportunity and educational assets this have for children and for adults who have an opportunity to experience firsthand, for example, iconic animals that they would never have an opportunity to see in person, and also to learn more about the importance of protecting and preserving those species for future generations. And then to provide the conservation efforts that zoos do to help preserve endangered species. And I have to say, as a person who was raised within blocks of the Sacramento Zoo and now live only a few more blocks away. I can personally attest that this zoo will be compatible with the surrounding area in every way. I have to tell you, in one sense, I'm kind of sad, and are some of my neighbors, that the zoo is leaving Sacramento in our neighborhood, because it has been a good neighbor. But I'm happy that it would be coming to Elk Grove, because you are going to do just an amazing job to make this an amazing zoo that's going to be a gold star in the state of California, in fact, I think in the nation. So my wife and I are so excited that we have donated a very substantial amount of money to the capital campaign to support this effort. And we have brought in many people, hopefully, that will give money to. And I just hope that with this wonderful presentation and with your support, that you will move this on to the City Council to do the right thing and create a wonderful zoo here in Elk Grove. Thank you very much. Bye.
After the next speaker after Val is going to be Amanda Nelson.
Good evening. My name is Erin Val, and I'm the Executive Director of Explore Elk Grove, the tourism marketing agency for the City of Elk Grove. I'm a 15-year resident here in Elk Grove, grew up in Dixon, went to school at UC Davis, remember going to the zoo as a child, enjoyed taking my children there, and I'm very excited about bringing it here for our community. Today, on behalf of my board of directors, with great enthusiasm, that we express our committed support for the establishment of a new zoo. We understand the importance of creating unique and memorable experiences for residents and visitors alike. A zoo is not only an educational resource, but as a place of wonder and fascination for people of all ages. By introducing a zoo to Elk Grove, we are not only enhancing the recreational offerings of our city, but also fostering economic vitality, a sense of community pride, and connection. A new zoo in Elk Grove aligns with our mission at Explore Elk Grove to showcase the diverse array of attractions and experiences that our city has to offer. We believe that a zoo would not only enhance the quality of life for our community, but also position Elk Grove as a premier destination for visitors seeking enriching and unforgettable experiences. We believe that a zoo would be a valuable addition to our community for several reasons, including educational opportunities, economic benefits, community engagement, and conservation efforts. We urge the Planning Commission to consider the proposal for a new zoo and to work with stakeholders to ensure the development is a success. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. After Amanda Nelson, we have Kevin Ferreira.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Nelson, and I am here tonight in support of this new zoo project. I became a member of the Sacramento Zoo about 3 years ago, and it is honestly one of the best things that I have ever done. As a nature photographer, I joined as a member to simply take pictures of the animals, but I never imagined what I would get in addition to that. I love taking pictures of the animals, and through that, I have learned their names and their personalities. And while I admit most of the time I can be found with Cleo, the 18-year-old lioness, I have come to know so many of the other animals and love them just as much. Being a member, I have learned the important conservation work that goes in every day at the Sacramento Zoo. I have learned about the species survival plan and the reason why we have to say goodbye to some of our favorite residents to make room for new ones. I've enjoyed day trips, summer night happy hours, and even overnight safaris. I have seen babies welcome to the zoo to grow our zoo family. I have also come to know the tremendous staff and the docents that give their time every day to not only make sure that the animals are getting the best care possible, but the visitors are getting a great experience as well. I'm also proud to be a member of the Greater Sacramento chapter of the American Association of Zookeepers. I'm not a zookeeper, but I'm very passionate about conservation. I've also learned why this project is so important. I want to see our region known for being a home to the country's newest modern zoo. I know that without this project moving forward, the zoo we have now will cease to exist. These animals deserve not only a new place to call home, but this will give an opportunity to make sure that their species survive. The zoo will be an opportunity for future generations to grow up understanding and appreciating our wildlife. Thank you very much.
Thank you. After Kevin Ferreira, we have Matthew Jumame.
Good evening, Commissioners. Kevin Ferreira, the Executive Director of the Sacramento Sierras Building and Construction Trades Council. And after seeing the presentation tonight, the first word that came to mind for me was, wow. What an iconic project for the city of Elk Grove with wildlife. The video presentation that we seen was a visionary experience of what the zoo is. And the first thought that came to my mind then was how cool it would be to see a sunrise over the safari. And so our members, which we have a few thousand of them that live in Elk Grove with their families, are very excited of being a part of the building and construction of such a iconic project. And with that, we ask for your support of a yes to move this forward, because zoos are cool, rad, and any other bad of the bone word and the phrases that are out there. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And after Matthew Jumame, we're going to have Lynn Wheat.
Hello, good evening, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Matthew Jumamoy, and I'm a resident of District 4. I'm here to express my full support for this zoo project. I grew up here in Elk Grove, went through the Elk Grove Unified School District system, and I was a member of the Youth Commission about 5 to 6 years ago. Common thing that my peers and when we had outreach events at the Youth Commission is that Elk Grove doesn't really have a lot of stuff for teens and young people. It's really retail, restaurants, parks over and over again for a lot of people in the community. So I'd like to, this is just an amazing project to be able to benefit the younger people in the community like me who grew up here and want to see educational opportunities, conservational opportunities, and just things to be able to do in Elk Grove. Looking at this project, I think it's in a location that is very well suited for the high demand that it will have, especially along the future Capital Southeast Corridor, providing a lot of opportunities for people coming in from El Dorado, from I-5, 99, and not being able to affect traffic within the interior parts of the city. As a planner, as my profession, I find the implementation of a special planning area to be especially a good planning tool to be able to show the commitment to the city has to the zoo project moving forward, and any changes and expansion that they have in the future. During my review of the plans, I did have a little thing I'd like to bring up is Bilby Road in the general plan and circulation element does show it going through the current zoo project. And as we saw in the presentation, Bilby Road will kind of be cut off, one section on one side of the zoo, and there's another on the other side of the zoo between lots and promenade. So there's going to be two sections of road with the same name that will probably never be connected because of the zoo. The Elk Grove Municipal Code section 12.26.036 says that new streets shouldn't be named as other existing streets, and since it's a section that's really disconnected from the other parts of Bilby, I'm thinking possibly it could be renamed to reflect that it will not be connected to the other portions of Bilby Road. Besides that minor concern, I am fully in support of the project. I would like to push recommendation of the Planning Commission to bring it up to the City Council, and I'm so excited to be able to see this project, and I'm especially, I feel good to be an Elk Grove citizen because it's great to see this jurisdiction putting forward innovative projects, innovative ideas, and being willing to take risks that sometimes fail, like the soccer project, but being able to push forward unique land use opportunities in the city that not only benefit us, but the region as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. And after Lynn Wheat, we have Michael Monaski.
Good evening. I want to thank you for serving our community, and I can only imagine the hours you all have spent reviewing the zoo documents. This is a very big dream for the city of Elk Grove, which will have impacts today and even more in the future. I did not respond to the EIR regarding traffic impacts, climate change, and greenhouse gases because I understand the power of the statement of overriding considerations. And remember, when I'm stuck at signals, the land use decisions in our city have economic, legal, and social benefits that far outweigh quality of life. I offer the following comments. Page 11 of the staff report. Designated decision maker for the Level 2 design review that includes various buildings is left to the approval of the Development Service Director, eliminating any possible input from the public. I request this be changed to the zoning administrator level, allowing an opportunity for the public to review the projects and offer comment before adoption. Financial obligations. This dream project, designed and funded in phases by the taxpayers, is the primary reason I do not support this project. I believe a public, instead of a Zoom meeting, needed to be held for a meaningful discussion. The taxpayers purchased the 100 acres. I have a question you may be able to answer for me, but I believe it was tonight. Are the taxpayers funding the development impact fees too? And I believe we are. Tonight, I have provided you pictures of the CSD lot the Elk Grove taxpayers will be buying in the future for the employee parking district, which was initially planned for a fire station and is in the Sterling Meadows SPA. Page 17 of the staff report referenced this lot. On pages 12 and 13 of the Zoo SPA document, the lot design is further described. I am concerned this parking lot is located at the entrance to a neighborhood and is surrounded by houses. I request that to improve neighborhood compatibility, the proposed 6-foot tubular fencing be changed to match the existing masonry wall on the southern portion of the lot. I request the wall at the entrance be identified by community name and similar landscape surround the perimeter. An employee parking lot in a neighborhood. Could you imagine purchasing a home in a master plan community, being told you'd have a fire station across the street, and learning afterwards that you would be looking out on a parking lot of cars? It is concerning that the zoo is spreading to the east side of Lots Parkway. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I haven't been to the Planning Commission meetings, and so I need a little bit of protocol. So you're Sandy, are you the clerk? Oh, and sorry, are you through Mr. Jason's office or no? Different office? Oh, okay, because that's where I sent my testimony. And it's important that you take delivery of this document? Okay.
I did receive an email from you.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And it's posted.
Oh, and it's posted, okay, good,
It is.
good, great. Because there are some, there's some links in there, and I wanted all this to be part of the record. I don't like the EIR process either. It's a 1970 law. Anyway, over 350 pages of the EIR report. Mr. Singh, you complained that it was 900 pages long. 350 pages of it was nothing but a core dump of air pollution data. It was preceded by about a 9-page thing and it was probably 4 pages of stuff, information about air quality. And it was titled a health impact assessment. Now, is that true, Mr. Jordan, that it's an human health impact assessment that was done? And it was a choice by the city to do that? Well, no, I need to, in order to continue, because if it's not, then it's not relevant. Because this is I'm addressing human health impacts. And my comments, which were sent timely during the draft period, were never responded to.
Protocol is for the speaker to address the planning commission, and if the planning commission would like staff to address any questions, they'll go ahead and let us know. Thank you.
And I don't care about your legal process because frankly, we the people don't get much in the way of process, okay? This is my time to speak, and I'm asking a question of Mr. Jordan because he runs this, you know, and we have all these different players coming in. We have no idea what's going on with these air pollution numbers. I find that the draft EIR and health impact assessment is woefully inadequate because it doesn't really address human health impacts. There was a report that came out from the University of Edinburgh, Scotland, just in February, published in the Journal of Transport Geography entitled Car Harm, a global review of automobility's harm to people and the environment. I want that to be included in the record. It tallies violence, ill health, injustice, and environmental damage that are being the harmful byproducts of automobility. This project expands automobility. This council and this planning commission has done nothing but build parking lots on top of parking lots. It did it over in Old Town. It put in 200 more units and I'm out of time and I can't even get to the first issue. I have a lot of frustration with this city and the lousy way it treats its people who ask questions. Beep, 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 and don't address the staff. What a pile. When the Zoological Society says,
Mr. Manaski,
when the zoological, let me give me another minute. Okay, I just want to add this because there's a program. Oh, no,
sir,
you can't speak.
You were given your time.
Yeah, you were given your time, and I sat out there for 2.5 hours wondering when the heck you're going to get done with this dog and pony show, because that's what it is. And snap your fingers, Mr. Fernandez, and have him cut the mic. And you know what? You can still record it because I speak loudly enough. And that's what we need. We need people who ask questions and speak loudly enough. And that's what we're losing in Mr. Murphy. I don't agree with his politics all the time, but I can agree with you that he's a man who asks questions and has compassion for the people.
Thank you.
You don't. And your staff follow your lead, and they follow the leads of the electeds.
This is it, Mr. Manaski. Thank you.
Thank you for what? I didn't even get to my points. It's not an educational experience to go to the zoo. That's part of my testimony. And I have
Would
proof.
you please step aside at this time, sir, because...
I was one of the last people. So now you arrest people.
Okay. Seeing that there are no further speakers, I close the public comment and I declare the public hearing closed. With that, we're going to move to commission deliberation and action. Okay. Okay, with that, the floor is open for deliberations that you all have. Any further questions for either the zoo personnel or the staff?
No.
Commissioner Singer, I don't have any further questions, but I just have to say that the work that has gone into this project, the hundreds, I'm sure hundreds and hundreds of hours, gathering the information, going to different facilities to evaluate what would be in the best interest of Elk Grove, meeting with the different stakeholders, the hours you spent with the, oh, my time is up.
I would loan you mine.
Okay, I got George's time. Just the hours that spent educating us on this project. CJU and just the team, the whole team, I know it takes an effort to do this, as well as the design team and the Zoological society. I just want to express my gratitude for a and Franklin High School. I mean, that was just phenomenal. This was it was a lot of reading for me, the paper, but it was phenomenal work, and I just want to commend you and just commend everyone that was involved in this effort and recognize that.
Commissioner O'Connor.
I'd just like to congratulate staff also for helping me go through all these 900 pages, because I did have a lot of questions. And it's nice to see that out of 11 speakers, 9 were in support of the project. Having said that, I'm ready to vote and support this project.
Okay, hearing no further discussion items, I am going to...
Chair Simmons,
Yep.
I had a few words.
You do?
I
Yes,
did,
sir.
yeah,
Move
I
on.
did. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and spending your time with us. Meant a lot to hear your comments. Not to mention the 185 letters we got. My email wasn't working this week, so I did an email dump, and I got 185 emails at 3:30 in the afternoon, all of which were positive except for one. And to his honor, if you run your courtroom like you spoke tonight, can I go sit in your jury box? But no, Christopher, staff, not only on this project, you do this is one of the best staff reports I've ever seen. I read the initial staff report, and every one of my questions I wrote down. I looked at them, and I had to reassess where I was going, because a lot of my questions were related to finance. And I had to remember where I was supposed to be on this as a commissioner. And then I read all the attachments and exhibits, and it answered 99% of my questions. That's how good the staff report was. Come into my staff meeting and more clarification than anything else. So although I got to commend everybody that worked on this. I mean, the zoo folks, I think is a great design. 4 times larger than what they have now. I was just amazed with what you did. But I think Lynn had a point. I live on our street that is split. One north is same name as the one on the south, and you can't get to each of them. And I know it could be a challenge to change street names, but I think maybe there's some consideration ought to be given, because what you have and what I see is people that don't use GPS, or not very well. I use paper, but they come down the wrong street, and we wind up with speeders getting out of the street. So if there's any way we can change that, working with the neighbors, I think that'd be a benefit. Even East Bilby, West Bilby would be a big deal. But that I would agree with her on that. The parking lot issue, I don't know why we wouldn't put a wall around there. Maybe there's some financial concern, but it can't be that significant with the cost of this project. I'll leave it up to the design team to look at that, though. But I think it's a good idea. But after hearing what I heard tonight from the staff, the zoo folks, the design team, I'm in full support of this project. Just terrific work, folks. And before I forget, being this is my last meeting, I want to commend you for the past 17 years and the work you've done. I just can't, you've taught me a lot. And I wish I could reciprocate in that, but I can't. But I can certainly say thank you to every one of you. So please pass it along to your members of your staffs how much I appreciate the support and teaching you gave me over these years. It's been just a thrill to sit up here and face an audience and hear positive comments in a lot of cases. So with that being said, I support the project.
Okay. that,
I will.
you have a comment?
I will say a couple of words. The Steve Irwin comment and quote was fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Rest in peace, Steve. And I heard one word repeatedly that really, really resounded with me, and that was conservation. And if you think about the animal populations, and we hear about it all the time with the poaching of rhinoceros horns and elephant horns and the horrible things that happen to those animals, we have an opportunity to conserve and educate future generations right here in Elk Grove. And Matthew Jumamame, thank you for being one of the younger speakers to get up and speak, because we do want to make Elk Grove a place where you want to grow up and stay. And I think this is an opportunity for Elk Grove to put itself further on the map. So I fully support this project, and I fully support the conservation efforts. Thank you, everybody, for coming and speaking.
Mr. Chair, one last comment.
Commissioner Murphy.
Is there an elf in the crowd? From Jessica? Well, thank her. I'll let you give her the hug for me. Okay.
With that, let's move forward. Do I have a motion on this agenda item?
Commissioner Singa, I move that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution recommending that the City Council certify the environmental impact report, make findings of fact, and adopt a statement of overriding consideration and mitigation monitoring and reporting program, and adopt the Zoological Park Special Planning Area and rezone the project site to the Zoological Park Special Planning Area, amend the bicycle, pedestrian, and trails master plan, approve a conditional use permit, approve a tentative subdivision map with subdivision design review, approve a district development plan and level 1 design review, adopt the art plan, and recommend that inclusion of the project in the city's capital improvement program is consistent with the general plan for the new zoo at Elk Grove based on the findings and subject to the conditions of approval in the draft resolution.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of the motion as presented?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
I know it, yeah.
With that, given that there are no regular agenda items, we have moved to the director's report.
Good evening, Chair Singa, members of the commission. Yesterday was the closing period for the application for the new planning commissioner, vacated by Mr. George Murphy. So they've got big shoes to fill, but the mayor will be making that appointment next Wednesday at the council meeting, which is on April 10th. Also want to invite you to attend the annual commission committee mixer. That is a event to celebrate your service to the community, and I look forward to seeing every one of you there. That is at the District 56 on Monday, April 22nd. And then finally, we have 3 matters for the 18th Planning Commission. We have a CUP for an auto body. We have a general plan consistency for the CIP, which excludes the zoo, as CJ stated earlier. And then finally, we have the presentation for noise standards at the request of the Planning Commission. That concludes my director's report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for? No? Okay, with that, thank you all for having stayed here. The meeting will terminate shortly. But with that, let's move to Planning Commission matters. Okay, let me start here by saying that this is Commissioner Murphy's last meeting after 17 years of distinguished service. He is stepping down. And what I would like to do is give everybody, starting at the left, an opportunity to sort of express their thanks as they would like in their own words to Commissioner Murphy.
George, we've known each other for a long, long time, and you've always been somebody I can go to for questions even before I was in this position. And you've been my mentor in this position, and I appreciate you and wish you the best in your retirement. And don't think you're going to get away without those breakfasts that we have once in a while, just to chat.
Only if you let me by now and again.
Best of luck, and we'll be seeing you around.
Thank you, Oscar.
I remember our phone call like it was yesterday when you said, if you're so interested in what's going to get built there, you should apply for the Planning Commission position. And I thought, out of spite, I'm going to do that. And so I filled out the form, and 3.5 years later, I have learned so much about how city government functions. I try just to stand close to CJ as much as possible to absorb some of the osmotic information that he shares, but you share an equal amount of amazing information and just a wealth of knowledge. And thank you so much for the 17 years of service and the kick in the pants to submit my application to be a part of this commission.
Well, now that you're up here, you're probably thinking, boy, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
I didn't.
And you can't stand next to that guy and absorb anything. You got to ask him the question. So, and be prepared for a 101 on anything. So,
thank you, George.
Commissioner Poole.
This is difficult. This is very, very difficult. When I applied to be on the Planning Commission, and George reached out to me and said, let's have coffee. And I think that conversation lasted about 2 hours,
probably
something like that, about 2.5 hours. But such a wealth of wisdom. You made me feel welcome. You gave me some wide guidance to stay out of politics, to different things like that. And I just appreciate you. I appreciate that you would take my text messages or my phone calls when I had questions. We're going to miss you. We're going to miss all of the wisdom that you've imparted upon us, but we still do have your phone number, and hopefully we'll be able to get together. You're going to miss us too, so we're going to make sure that we have some regular meetups as we go forward.
I may miss you, but I might change my phone number.
You forget we know where you live.
Yeah, you know where I live, though, don't you? Yeah.
But thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
I would be remiss if I know the hardest work done by this commission, or what ends up here, is with the staff. If any of the staff members would like to say a few words, we will give you 2 minutes now. Two.
I just wanted to take a quick minute. I no longer sit with the Planning Commission, so tonight is an honor. I started here with George Murphy being on the Planning Commission about 15.5 years ago. And we worked together for so many years. We did nice rides in the neighborhood to look at how speed humps would affect his neighborhood together. We also had long 2.5-hour coffees together. Not only do I consider him a great planning commissioner, but a friend, and I am going to miss him dearly. And whenever he is in the building, I light up looking for him because he is kind of a light, right? A little bit around him, that aura of joy. So I will miss you dearly, and don't be a stranger. And I too know where you live. So
and you can get there quickly because there's no speed bumps.
That's right. So we will hang out, and thank you for your service. The city is indebted to you.
Thank you, Jen. Thank
you. You know, all those years of me, you, and Frank, the fabulous duo. So maybe the three of us can get the band back together at some point.
Well, even when I was on the left of the dais, we were both on the right,
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you.
George, I won't spend a lot of time, but other than say thank you on behalf of my entire family. Thank you for all your years and the friendship. And it's back as far as 2004, 2005.
Well, yeah. Christopher, I think I knew Jessica before you knew her, his wife. And she was one of the first planners I had any intermingling with on a planning issue, and we became good friends. And next thing I know, she shows up with him, and I've seen they got married. Their kids have gone from this to this, and that's the kind of relationships I've developed over the years. And Jessica is one of those special ones for me too. So thank you, Chris.
So George, it's hard to believe it's been 7 years since I started here. Before I started here, I don't think I had any gray hair, but I think with your critical insight into our projects and making us think about how we review projects here in Elk Grove, especially projects in the rural area, which I wasn't familiar with in my position before, really increased the level of quality of the projects we bring forward. And also, we've found that you've been receptive to new ideas and new design ideas on top of being critical of the projects that we bring to you to make them better projects. And just thank you for all the guidance you've provided, both as a colleague and a planning commissioner.
Well, thank you. And I hope that gray hair is not attributed to me.
It may be.
It may be some of it anyways, huh?
I want to, but I can't joke. I can't joke it out. I will probably miss you the most. We have 17 years together, so.
Yeah, well, Sandy used to deliver our briefing books to us. And I was her last stop on the way home. And we had many conversations, and her and my wife, they have a lot in common. And, okay, Sandy, I'll shut up. But thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, George, before I get to my statement, former Commissioner Weiser could not be here tonight, unfortunately. She wanted me to read a text, if that's okay. George Murphey has been a staple in Elk Grove for nearly 2 decades, dedicating himself to smart planning of this city. He's been a mentor and a friend to me for many years, and his time and service to Elk Grove should be recognized and celebrated. We are so lucky to have had him coaching planners for years, and he will be missed. Thank you for always being an amazing support to me and for being a great friend. I hope you enjoy your retirement and know you will be missed. Thanks for your dedication and service.
Thanks, Darren. I guess I'll have to text her thank you.
Yes.
Among other things.
So I have a few fun facts, and some of them are facts, and some may be trivia questions for you.
Oh.
So let's get started. Mr. George Murphey was appointed to the Planning Commission on February 28, 2007 by former Mayor and Council Member Gary Davis.
Mm-hmm. True.
His first Planning Commission meeting was on March 1st, 2007, over 17 years ago.
True. I don't recall, but that might have been, was that a Walmart project?
No, we're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember who you replaced?
I do, actually. Joe Dos Rios.
You got it. All right. And then you were sworn in by the city clerk. Do you remember her?
Peggy? Over the phone, by the way. She was.
It was. It was over the phone, and
no grudges, by the way.
It was probably a BlackBerry or a Motorola phone.
I think it was.
Like tonight, after he was sworn in, Commissioner Murphy gave the Pledge of Allegiance, or led the Pledge of Allegiance. So, a first and a last.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first project? That probably is digging deep.
Well, the only one I can remember is oh, you know what? It might have been one off of Bradshaw Road, over in East Policy. What was that called over there, Christopher? No, and it was Elk Grove. Anyways, the East Elk Grove project, I believe.
You were right. It's the East Elk Grove specific plan, and it was a project called the Stone Spring Estates 2.
And we turned it down.
You did. You denied your very first project. So, do you remember who the planner was on that?
Jessica. No.
No, it was Christopher Jordan.
Was it you, Christopher?
So he is your first and last presenter.
You come a long way, Christopher.
Do you remember your first question you asked?
Oh, gosh, no. What am I doing here?
You asked about the language in the specific plan regarding density averaging.
That's right.
And of course, you recommended, I think it was all 5 recommended denial to the council.
We did.
Actually, it was Tim Murphy, I think, voted for it, but there were 4, including yourself, so.
You know, there used to be 2 Murphys on here. They put
Different-
an E in,
different
we
spellings.
we were twins, and they put an E in my name to tell us apart.
So I went around my staff and a few other staff members to give me one-word adjectives to describe you. So, and as an engineer, I put them in alphabetical order.
Hope none begin with A.
Astute. Caring, contemplating, critical but fair, dedicated, dependable, inquisitive, fair, friendly, kind, knowledgeable, open-minded, passionate, personable, reasonable, reliable, resourceful, sweetheart, that did not come from me, thorough, and thoughtful. And that about sums Mr. Murphy up in our, yeah.
You probably have some of your own letters to put out there.
I
but-
do. But no, George, it's been an absolute pleasure for a person that is a licensed civil engineer. I did learn planning from you as well as, you know, thank you for being a friend and a mentor. You will be missed. We will continue to have either breakfast or beers, and I look forward to those times. And I don't think we're seeing the last of you.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I'll probably be involved with the rural community for a while, if nothing else. And I don't know who came up with those adjectives, but thank you. I never, you know, you don't look at yourself as other people look at you. You know, I'm one of those guys, you just do your job and you do it the best you can. And that's kind of where I look at myself. I don't, intend to get these kind of comments. But I tell you that they go to my heart. So thank all of you. And to my fellow present commissioners. Oh, you wanted to say something, didn't you?
Well, I was going to wrap it up, but if I get a chance.
Well, I don't want to, you're a chair, so you tell me what to do.
I know. But no, I mean, I was just going to make a few comments, but almost anything I was going to say has already been said. All I'll say is when I joined the commission 3 years ago, right in the midst of the pandemic, George sort of took me under his wing. He has served as a mentor since then. And I don't call too many people my friend, but George is actually a friend. And his knowledge, not just of what planning commission or planning matters, but history is amazing. How any man can remember what he did at his first meeting 17 years ago. I do not remember what I did at my first meeting 3 years ago, okay? So he's just a wealth of knowledge, and he's been so generous in sharing his information and knowledge. And he and I have had a lot of phone conversations, none of which are in violation of the Brown Act, if I may add. And I do know where George lives, and he and I already have plans to sit over certain drinks. Let's just put it at that. We want soft drinks, let's put it that way. But George, on behalf of everybody here, we have a little plaque for you, which reads, "In appreciation of many years of contribution to the city of Elk Grove as a planning commissioner from 2007 to 2024, to George Murphy." So, here you are, sir. And thank you all for, I know some of you, this is longer than you'd have wanted to stay, but you're here.
Our last meeting, my fellow commissioners gave me a book written by Miss Elizabeth Pinkerton about the history of Elk Grove. And it was much appreciated, but it was even more appreciated when I read what you put in that book. To this commission, I can tell you, you've come a long way in spite of the pandemic, in spite of never been in chambers when they were appointed. You've come a long way. And I've served with many fine people up here, all passionate, all do their work, their homework, which is important. They show up prepared. And not only were they colleagues up here on the dais, but most of them have become friends of mine over the years. And that's the biggest takeaway from this, from staff, you guys, former commissioners, and people I met just by talking to you during our breaks or before or after a commission meeting. So I think, again, staff, all my commissioners I've worked with, the public for coming out and being part of the process. Stay tuned, folks. Things go on in the city all the time. And don't be surprised if something happens to your neighborhood and you don't know about it, because the information's out there. Sign up for the updates and alerts for the Planning Commission, City Council, Zoning Administrator, any particular governmental body that you may be interested in. But with that said, it's George Murphy signing off.
Well, I would like to thank all of you for your patience and for taking time to be here this evening. There being no other agenda items, the meeting is adjourned at 9:24. There we go. George?